to CECIMO video interviews on future skill set and their impact on jobs. Today, we have the privilege of speaking with us Mr. Stewart Lane, Corporate Manager of Renishaw based in the UK. My first question to Mr. Lane would be, considering the ongoing digitization and automation, which skills do you anticipate that will remain indispensable in the next 5 to 10 years? And which skills do you foresee becoming less necessary in machine tool industry?
Thank you for that question, Ola. And before I get into the detail, I think it's fair to say my opinion is that we're going to be looking at evolution within the workplace over the next 5 to 10 years, rather than complete revolution or overhaul. I know there's a lot of talk about the impact of AI or machine learning on the workplace, an awful lot being covered there, but I see this as an enhancement to our current workplace, a productivity tool. And I think that the focus for industry is still around those core skills, technical skills, electronics, mechanics, robotics, of course, through automation. Obviously, we're going to see with automation a reduction in manual labor towards thinking and a higher value added job. And that's absolutely fundamental. And I also think that big data analytics, taking all the information that we're generating as businesses, making sense of it, and using that for data-driven decision making is also going to be key. Another area where I think we need to focus is on our application engineers. These are the people who adopt our technologies and actually make them work in the real world. And they're hard to find and they're hard to train. In terms of skills that I see less of an emphasis of going forward, if we leave the manual labour side alone for now, I would say one area that might be a bit controversial is with regards language skills. One area that we've seen AI develop into is the ability on the fly to make very good translations. And what I believe and hope for the future is that communication will be further facilitated such that it is easier to do business between countries without needing to have learned a language in order to do so. I also think we're going to see less travel, and this will impact on the application engineers and our sales staff. People don't want to spend time away from the families. People are hard to find who want to be on the road. And I think that's going to drive how we support our equipment such that we don't rely on people being away as much as they are currently.
Thank you, Mr. Lane, for your answer, for such a thorough answer. And well, speaking of evolution, my second question would be, how do you see the evolution of jobs, given that, new jobs will emerge, but also the existing jobs will evolve in the machine tool industry?
So engineers are very much used to technology evolving and devising ways of exploiting it, normally for the better. Indeed, that's what we do. I think it's fair to say that technology is evolving at an extremely fast pace, and that in itself, through AI machine learning, is starting to generate an awful lot of information. I think that the engineers of the future will be using that output and operating almost as the vetting or policing of such systems to ensure that the information generated is correct. So it will almost be a quality control function. And I think this ever-changing landscape places even greater demands on people, philosophical almost, in terms of their ability to plan, to be optimistic, to have a growth mindset, and cope with the fast pace of change compared to even just a few years ago. I also think that that will bring us on to maybe the next topic we're going to talk about regarding softer skills, because people aren't machines, and the machines are going to be doing more of the work that people historically did, which leaves teamwork and thinking left to us humans. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the managers of the future, the leaders of the future, cope with that, because that is going to place even more demands on them.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. And exactly, talking about the soft transversal skills, that would be my next question. So we already have seen that analytical thinking, communication, flexibility, and adaptability are increasingly valued alongside technical expertise. So how do you perceive the growing importance of these human-centric skills in the context of advanced manufacturing alongside technical proficiency?
I think it's fair to say that people expect to be treated differently in the workplace. What people are looking to get out of their work, and indeed the role that their work plays in their future, is becoming increasingly important. And this places demands on organizations in order to motivate and make people feel involved in what they're doing. The role of the manager in the future is less a top-down hierarchical role and more a facilitation role of the team members, empowering them and giving them the freedom to work where their strengths lie. It requires an understanding of psychology. It requires anthropology, subjects that when I went to university were not on the agenda. But machines are going to do more of the heavy lifting, and therefore people are going to be the critical thinkers. And we have to manage them accordingly. From a team member perspective, people work better in teams, and successful teams consist of people with a variety of skills, all interacting. There was a recent study, by Google, showing that teams that get on well together, that socialize together, and most importantly, who trust each other and are able to speak without fear of recrimination, perform better. And not only have the managers and the leaders got to be cognizant of that, but the team players need to also understand the importance of how they interact with and get the most out of their peers. They need to be able to challenge themselves and others. Problem solving will be absolutely key. And how they collaborate to ensure that the team performs is something that everybody will be responsible for.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. Indeed, human skills are gaining a lot of prominence nowadays. And last but not least, the green skills. So how crucial do you believe technical expertise in green skills is for industries, and which other green skills do you consider vital for manufacturing operations, both presently and in the future?
Okay. Most engineering decisions are made based on price or cost and specification. So to have the current engineers and future engineers thinking about the environmental or sustainable impact of what they develop is paramount. And much of the environmental impact of something being developed is incurred at the point of the products or the services conception. So it's the people who are developing these ideas that need to be more aware and educated about that impact, and indeed what the optimum environmental choice for some of the decisions that they're taking can be. And that might be through support organisations, and that's something that we've put in place in our own company, where people are advised on the possible impact of their actions, but also through training of the developers themselves, and even through our schooling and university system. And I think it's essential that we develop a methodology, just as we've developed methodologies to optimize design for cost benefit, to also optimize it for sustainability, with a focus on not only new products, but also on design for repair and lifelong support of products, such that their function is prolonged.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lane, for all your insights.
Thank you very much.